So may I come in?
Yeah, please. When is your interview?
Sir, no schedule has been.
No schedule.
No, sir.
You are from Baluchistan.
Yes, sir.
You may like to introduce to all of us.
Sir, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Irfan Ullah. I was born and raised in the border village of Killa Vihala in Tehsil Barshor. Tehsil Barshor is basically the largest tehsil of district Pishin. I got my early education from my hometown and did my intermediate from Quetta. Afterwards, I did my bachelor's in civil engineering from Baluchistan University of Information Technology, Engineering and Management Science, Quetta. After graduating in 2016, I got selected through Prime Minister Internship Program, and I interned for 1 year with Communication and Works Department. When it comes to my co-curricular activities, I'm passionate about the uplift of my community. I co-founded an organization, DEWA, which has established 3 schools so far and is imparting quality education free of cost to over 350 students in the far-flung areas of District Pishin. In my free time, I play rabab, I read books. I am also a tennis enthusiast, though I do not play it, but I watch it regularly.
You were competing for the Pakistan Administrative Services.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about Pakistan? How you will explain Pakistan to somebody who doesn't know?
Sir, my explanation of Pakistan would be that Pakistan is among those over 190 countries of the world, and it is situated in South Asia. And if I talk about the peculiar aspect of Pakistan is that it has a blend of both South Asian and Central Asian cultures. We have Indo-Aryan languages, we have Indo-Iranian languages. We are a diverse country. We are a multi-ethnic country, and our geography is more over 800,000 square kilometers. We have high peaks, we are very hospitable, and we have had a very good past. This would be my short introduction to them of my country.
What is the size of Pakistan in square mile or square kilometer?
Sir, if we take into account Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir, it's 882,000 square kilometers. But if we take into account just the 4 provinces, including Islamabad Capital Territory, then it's 796.
What is the total population of Pakistan?
So as per 2023 7 digital census, it's 241.4 million.
241.
41.
Current IAU digital.
Yes, sir.
So you have taken this international law. This was one of your subject.
Yes, sir.
What are the objective of international law? Why international law is important?
So, as we all know, the world is now interconnected, and that interconnectedness definitely brings with it some complexities. In order to resolve those complex issues, or in order to resolve those challenges, international law came into being. It is a sort of framework on which international relations basically work, and this is the prime purpose of international law.
What is the distance between Gwadar to Kashgar? Because that is a part of CPEC.
Sir, I'm not...
Gwadar is a port located in Baluchistan.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is situated in Baluchistan. I'm not sure about the exact distance from Gwadar to Kashgar.
Can you tell us what is artificial intelligence?
So, artificial intelligence is a new field of technology which is primarily aimed at producing machines which can perform the tasks of human beings. In other words, those machines which can perform intelligent tasks. In simple words, this is what AI is.
How do you see the future of democracy in Pakistan?
Sir, I personally see the future of democracy in Pakistan very bright. For a number of reasons. The number one is that we have a very vibrant civil society which has been vocal about any injustice or any unconstitutional step. The second thing is that we are gradually transitioning towards urbanized population. Our urban population is nearly 39% today, as it was like 4 decades ago. Apart from that, we have that middle class, which is actually the cornerstone of democratic governance. So, taking into account all those 3 pillars, I'm very hopeful that the future of democracy in Pakistan will be very bright.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Baluchistan, there are 2 areas in Baluchistan, A area and B area.
Yes.
A area is around 10%, and 90 rest is all B area, that is tribal area, where it is governed through tribal laws and customs and traditions. Don't you think if the entire area is converted into area, it will be better governed, Baluchistan as a province?
So you rightly mentioned that our entire province has been divided into 2 categories in terms of direct governance. One is area and B area. If Quetta, recently we just included 2 further districts, Gwadar and Lasbela, in that A area. They are now full areas. But you are very right, sir, in mentioning that if I personally also believe that if we give or hand over the powers to the police, they will better govern those areas. The reason being that the levies force is ill-equipped, they are ill-trained, and I believe if they are given, the police are given the chance to implement law and order in those areas, they will very much be better than the levies. The reason being that in levies culture, we have those tribal relationships, those kinship ties, in which criminals or the accused, they do go away free with their crimes based on their kinship and tribe relationships.
How do you see the ongoing Baloch insurgency in Pakistan?
Sir, if we talk about the Baloch insurgency, it can be traced to 1948, right after the annexation or the accession of Kalat States Union with the country. Later on, we saw in 1960s and 70s, there were guerrilla warfare. If we talk about the causes, there are some grievances which to an extent are very genuine, and I believe that they should be addressed because they are hampering our progress as a nation. However, there are also hostile actors which are capitalizing on those divisions.
So, what are those factors which you say which should be there and which are not there because of that? You see the progress is being hampered.
Sir, I believe that there are hostile actors, let's say.
No, what are those positive areas which are still lacking in the governance of Baluchistan?
Sir, I did not get your question. Are you?
You said that Baloch insurgency
Yes, sir.
is going on because of certain factors.
Yes, sir.
You see, there are good factors also, and there are factors which are, you see, creating problems.
Yes, sir.
And creating an environment of insurgency.
Yes, sir.
In its favor.
Sir, the way when I mentioned those genuine grievances of the province, they were actually, I would say they were because after 18th Amendment they do not exist, and they were resolved through constitutional amendment. They were the issues of resources, the fiscal autonomy, the political autonomy, and I believe after 18th Amendment they have been, the province has been granted those rights. And those were the legitimate grievances which the province had been voicing all these 7 decades. But after 18th Amendment in 2010, I believe there are no grounds for the grievances because the province has been vested with all powers, be it political and economic, and it's up to the province.
But why the things are not being normalized? What's the problem?
Sir, I believe we did not tackle the Baluchistan issue through a political way. We tried to resolve this issue with hard power and through militarily way. If we had opted for the political solution or through a comprehensive dialogue of all stakeholders in the country, including the military, I very much believe that it would have been resolved peacefully.
International law is your subject. Where is the headquarters of Court of International Justice?
So the International Court of Justice office or the court is situated in The Hague, a city in the Netherlands.
Why you want to join PAS? That is your first choice.
Sir, my choice for PAS is obviously the scope of this job. It has very wide scope when it comes to service delivery. In terms of, I believe all services are very much delivering services, but the scope of this job is very wide, where you can create impact in a society. You can be posted in any field. You are the administrative head of the district, and you have to regulate life of that district at all levels. So your input in that.
What functions are performed by the Deputy Commissioner in the district?
The Deputy Commissioner is the administrative head of the province. He has to communicate, is a sort of communication channel between the government in the capital and the district. He is tasked with supervising or monitoring the overall functions of the district.
Oh, he has certain specific responsibilities which he has to shoulder. When you go back, have a look at them.
Okay, sure.
Welcome to CSPs Academy for CSS PMS preparation. CSS PMS तहरीरी इम्तिहान के तमाम मज़ामीन की ऑनलाइन और ऑन कैंपस तैयारी के साथ साथ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्शन, असाइनमेंट चेकिंग, क्लास टेस्ट, मॉक एग्जाम, इंडिविजुअल टीचर डिस्कशन और फीडबैक सेशन का इनकाद किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा FPSC की तजवीज़ करदा बुक्स से बने मयारी नोट्स और CSP पब्लिशर की बेहतरीन बुक्स मुहैया की जाएंगी।
Irfan Ullah Khan, you hail from Baluchistan.
Yes.
Could you kindly brief us on Baluchistan?
Madam, Baluchistan is the largest province of Pakistan in terms of area. It covers roughly 347,000 square kilometers, which constitutes 45% of the land mass of Pakistan. When it comes to its population, as per the recent census, its population has been 14.8 million with 3.22% growth rate, the highest in Pakistan. When it comes to its demography, we have the Pashtuns, the Baloch, and the Bruhis, and also the Hazaras. A very sizable population of Hazaras live in Quetta. When it comes to its mode of economy, it's largely agrarian in nature, and people are. Baluchistan does not have those huge metropolis or urban centers, except for Quetta and a few other towns. Largely, the society is rural with tribal connections, and it's very much rich in mineral resources. It produces coal. We have chromite in Islamabad. We have gold, copper in Chari. We have sulfur in Kohe Sultan in Kharan district. And it has over 700 kilometers of border coastal line. This is the brief introduction of Baluchistan province.
Normally with Iran, in our negotiations, there's always the issue of hot pursuit. Do you know what a hot pursuit is?
No, madam, I don't have any idea about that.
About cross-border?
Skirmishes, madam?
No, when miscreants do something in one country and they go back to the other. Yes. So that country wants to have that right to pursue that criminal on the other side.
Right, ma'am.
So from international law perspective, what's your take on that?
Madam, I think international law does not allow a country to go and have a sort of surgical strike on the miscreants or those insurgents who happen to attack your territory and they seek sanctuary in your neighboring country. because that would be a direct violation of the sovereignty of the next neighbor. I believe that proper way would be addressing them through our foreign office and our embassies or missions there, and communicating our grievances and handing them over with the intelligence information that our intelligence agencies have gathered over time.
What is your take on Gulbhushan Yadav case?
Kulbhushan Yadav case he was a spy of RAW who was operating, who was involved in subversive activities in Pakistan, and he was captured by our intelligence agencies. I guess he was captured when he was entering Pakistan from the Iranian side.
Your favorite personalities: Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Franz Fanon. What is common amongst all of these?
Madam, they all have an anti-colonial struggle in a legacy which they share. Perhaps all three were they were contemporaries of one another, and they all three were they went through hardships for the people. Franz Fanon worked a lot against the French in the French Algeria back then, and also the Nelson Mandela, he worked for his people, for Africans, against the apartheid and those segregatory laws. And same was the case with Martin Luther King Jr. He worked for the people of color during civil rights movements in 1960s in the United States. So these are the common traits among all those three.
What is your take from the book The Revenge of Geography, and would you apply it to Pakistan?
Madam, my understanding of the book was that it gave me an insight into the geographic aspect of political philosophy, because up until then, until I had read this book, I was not aware the importance of geography, because we had been told that institutions were very much important in statecraft. But when I came to read this book, I realized that geography does play an important role, and it even hampers a country's development, and it can also be a very fruitful or a handy factor in countries formulating their foreign policies, affecting their lives, affecting their economy. This was my key takeaway from the Revenge of Geography book, and this is what I learned from this book.
Apply it on Pakistan, your takes.
Yes, madam. Sorry, I just forgot that. Coming to your question, it is very much applicable on Pakistan. Pakistan has been in that hostile neighborhood, which has made it to pursue foreign policies. It has affected its foreign policy. For instance, our neighbors, immediate eastern neighbors, and on the western side we have Afghanistan. So it has compelled us in that case, and it has shaped and framed our foreign policy objectives.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much.
Dr. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Irfan Ullah, I will ask questions related to your optional subjects.
Sir.
What do you know about Mahargarh civilization?
Sir, Mehergarh civilization is situated close to Quetta, like 150 kilometers from Quetta, in the Bolan district. It was an ancient civilization, perhaps older than Indus Valley civilization.
There's no relation between Mahargarh civilization and Indus Valley civilization?
Sir,
both were separate totally?
I would say it was an extension of the Indus Valley civilization. And
which one is more ancient?
So Mehergarh is ancient than.
What do you know about Third Battle of Panipat, and what was the significance of this battle in Indian history?
The Third Battle of Panipat had been a very key event in the 18th century subcontinent. It was a time when the Mughal Empire was crumbling, and the Marathas and the Sikhs were on the rise. And meanwhile, the Britishers, they were entering the subcontinent from the Bengal side. And given all these circumstances, Shah Waliullah, who was a reformer, he wrote a letter to Ahmad Shah Abdali, who was then the sovereign of Afghanistan, and asked him for help. It was in 1761 that he came and he defeated the Marathas in the Third Battle of Panipat, and it sort of restored the Mughal Empire, though it was short-lived, but to some extent it restored the rule of the Mughal Empire.
Can you tell me what significant change happened after the War of Buxar in terms of administration?
In the Battle of Buxar, Siraj-ud-Dawla was defeated, and he was replaced by the Mir Jafar and Mir Sadiq, if I correctly.
When happened War of Plassey? The warring part.
I believe it was in 1763.
1763.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You read international relations.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think Truman Doctrine was a violation of policy of isolationism of America?
So it definitely was a violation of Monroe Doctrine, but I would say that even the U.S. entry into World War II was itself a violation, a sort of that it continued to attack the Germans in Europe, though it was attacked by Japan. But its attack on the Germany abundantly testified that it had taken an aggressive course, which was against the principles of Monroe Doctrine.
Can you tell me what concluded in a Bretton Woods Conference?
So Bretton Woods Conference was a conference that was held in 1944 in Hampshire State. The area is known as Bretton Woods, and the hotel where it concluded was Washington Hotel, where all the countries, especially the Western European and the North American countries, they sat together and they tried to formulate plans for the international monetary order.
My last question. What did you know about long-term plan of cabinet mission plan?
So long-term plan of the cabinet mission was the division of India into three subgroups, A, B, and C. Thank you.
Let's conclude it. Let's have an informal discussion. चलें जी, अब ये है कि lucky you are that you have made to the written examination, and this is a time for you. Rather, I will say this is the last leap. Frog leap यही है, ठीक है ना? You need to focus on your interview.
Sure.
A little bit more. You are very good. Your personality is very good. Communication skills, they are fine. Oral as well as body language, intelligent you are. You are confident because you have got knowledge. Sitting posture आपका ठीक है, and voice impact आप ठीक create होता है. Message is clear. ठीक है. अब ये है कि एक तो what I will propose you कि आप थोड़ा सा my observation है, एक तो introduction आप recast करें, और it should be one pager to be delivered in 1 minute, and it should be based on objectivity. ठीक है, 1 pager, 1 minute objective. कोई उसमें सब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं होनी चाहिए. ठीक है. सेकंड ये है कि न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग जो है ना, वो आप सिर्फ पहले तो पढ़ते थे ना, अब आप उसको तो समझे कि दिस इज ए कोर्स, तैयारी करनी है. उसी से पिछले 3 महीने के न्यूज़पेपर ले और उनके इंटरनेशनल न्यूज़, नेशनल न्यूज़ एंड डोमेस्टिक जो भी इश्यूज नज़र आते हैं, और उन पे फिर आप उनकी एक नोटबुक आपकी यकीनन होगी. नोटबुक फॉर इंटरव्यू जो होती है ना, वो आप बनाइए या नहीं?
Sir, I have those notes where I wrote down those figures and data.
देखो ना, मैं थोड़ा सा पावर पॉइंट बनता है ना, इस तरह पॉइंट होते हैं, तो इसी तरह आप
ठीक सर,
यहाँ हेडिंग, यहाँ 1 2 3 4 5 पॉइंट. तो नेक्स्ट 3 डेज में आपने कम से कम 100 टॉपिक पे अपने पॉइंट्स लिख लेने हैं, जो आप पंच लाइन जिसको हम कहते हैं. ठीक है. तो दिस इज ए, और फिर आपको रिहर्स करना है. अब डेली बेसिस पे उसे खोल के सब देखते रहते हैं, डेली बेसिस पे, बिकॉज अभी डेट तो नहीं आई ना आपकी.
नहीं सर, विल बी लाइक इन दिसंबर सर.
चलिए, यू आर लकी देन, यू हैव गॉट प्लेंटी ऑफ टाइम. 3 महीने के न्यूज़पेपर, करंट, नोटबुक ये बना लें, रिहर्स करते रहें उन्हीं पॉइंट्स को जो कि आपने आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं. तो दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड.
अब ये जो है ना, PAS is your first choice.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, one day you'll become deputy commissioner. So you should know beforehand, because this is your first choice, and you should know what are the functions of the deputy commissioner. जब मैंने आपसे पूछा what fancies you, आपने एक जनरल टर्म्स में जवाब दिया, फिर मैंने पूछा आपसे what functions he performs. You didn't know. ये तो पता होना चाहिए ना, आप this is your first choice.
Yes.
कि डिप्टी कमिश्नर के फंक्शन स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन है, वो क्या करता है, वो जो है ये आपको दिस शुड बी ऑन योर फिंगर टिप्स. ठीक
सर.
बाकी आपने सवालों के जवाब सही दिए, और यू हैव द पोटेंशियल. आई एम श्योर यू कैन अर्न मोर मार्क्स. So all the best.
Thank you.
2016 you did your BS, and then what have you been doing in between? Because it's the gap of what, 7 years?
Like 7 years or so.
What did you do in between?
Trying to prepare for the exam. My academic background was very poor. I've done my schooling from the government high school Barshore, and for that I was working and preparing my subjects. Meanwhile, we were also struggling at home. So I'm the eldest of my 6 siblings. I had to look after them. My father is a clerk, so I had to shoulder some responsibilities with him. Meanwhile, preparing for different exams.
So beta jab interview mein jao, they'll ask you the question.
Okay, ma'am.
So you should have organized your thoughts on what you did in these last 7 years.
Okay.
Okay? Give cogent argument.
Okay.
That's important. The services that you've opted for, please study about rules and regulations of these.
Okay.
चाहे वो पुलिस ऑर्डर है, चाहे वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स हैं, चाहे वो कस्टम्स पे है, डू योर थॉरो स्टडी. आपके पास अभी टाइम है,
Yes, ma'am.
सो यू कैन वर्क ऑन दैट.
Okay.
ठीक है. पर्सनैलिटीज आपने सबमिट कर दी हैं अभी या नहीं की हैं? साइकोलॉजिकल.
No.
आई वुड रिकमेंड इरफान के एक पर्सनैलिटी रखो. व्हाई एम आई सेइंग इट? पहले तो सोचो, व्हाई डू दे आस्क फेवरेट पर्सनैलिटी? हैव यू थॉट अबाउट व्हाई दे आस्क यू क्वेश्चन ऑन फेवरेट पर्सनैलिटी?
Ma'am, I think they just want to see your orientation and the
Exactly.
personalities.
It's about you. It's not about the personality. कि इसका ब्रेन किस तरफ चलता है.
Right, ma'am.
ठीक है. जो भी इनकी शख्सियात हैं, उनके तमाम पहलू एक रख लो, उसकी पूरी थॉरो स्टडी करो. अब नेल्सन मंडेला के कितने बच्चे हैं, कितना अरसा वो जेल में रहा, और उसकी बीवी के ताल्लुकात क्या थे, अभी उसकी सक्सेशन में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, साउथ अफ्रीका की पॉलिटिक्स का क्या हाल है, व्हाई इज इट गोइंग डाउन द ड्रेन्स. मतलब आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल कि अगर आप मंडेला को रखते हो, इट्स नॉट जस्ट मंडेला द ग्रेट हीरो दैट when the panelists will ask, they'll ask you all the questions about his personal life also.
Okay.
ठीक है. सो अगर एक मतलब इट्स अ कंपटीशन.
Right.
जितने फ्लैंक्स खोलोगे उतना यू आर वल्नरेबल. एक रखोगे, उस पर थॉरो स्टडी करो, चाहे फ्रांस फानन पे करो, चाहे मार्टिन लूथर किंग पे करो. एक रखो और फिर उसके सारे पहलुओं को स्टडी करो. ठीक है. ताकि जब एग्जाम में आपसे पूछे जाए सवालात, तो दे आर आस्किंग अबाउट यू बेसिकली, दे आर नॉट आस्किंग अबाउट द पर्सन. तो उसमें यू कैन डिफेंड द कैरेक्टर दैट यू क्लेम टू बी योर फेवरेट. ठीक है. ये बुक्स जो हैं आपने जो लिखी है यहाँ, रिव्यू देम वंस अगेन.
Okay.
ठीक है, क्योंकि पहले पढ़ी हुई है. रिफ्रेश योर मेमोरी. हॉबीज में ट्रैवलिंग इज अ वेरी एम्बिगुअस टर्म. वेयर हैव यू बीन ट्रैवलिंग?
So, madam, all over Pakistan.
हाँ
Different
मुझे, बट
cities.
आप ट्रैवलिंग तो करते, तो आप तो फिर न्यूयॉर्क की बात करेंगे या आप ब्यूनस आयर्स की बात करेंगे, तो ट्रैवलिंग बिकम्स वेरी. या आप वो मार्को पोलो की तरह गोबी डेजर्ट से गुजरे हैं, यू नो, या इब्ने बतूता की तरह रहे हैं. ट्रैवलिंग पे फिर ये सवाल भी आ सकते हैं. हॉबी भी एक ही रखो. अगर बिलफर्ज रुबाब रखा है, तो रबाब की पूरी हिस्ट्री पता होनी चाहिए. व्हेन वाज दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन्वेंटेड, कितनी उसमें तारें होती हैं, क्या मतलब उसकी सारा बैकग्राउंड पता होना चाहिए, टेक्निकलिटीज, ठीक है।
मैम।
बिकॉज यहाँ पे वो सवाल जो है वो गपशप के लिए नहीं कर रहे, दे वॉन्ट टू सी हाउ प्रोफेशनल यू आर इन योर अप्रोच इन लाइफ, ठीक है। तो अगर सिर्फ रुबाब ही रख लो तो उस पर भी बहुत है पढ़ने को, ठीक है।
ठीक है।
तो वो सारा थॉरो स्टडी करना है आपने। इमोशनल और परफेक्शनिज्म इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कंट्रास्ट ऑफ वीकनेसेस, यू नो। इमोशनल पे लोग आपको सवाल कर सकते हैं कि क्या आपके ऊपर अगर कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन आ जाती है, फॉर एग्जांपल इन पुलिस, कि आपके आगे एक गैंगस्टर है, आपने उसे मारना है या क्या करना है, आपके इमोशंस प्रिवेल करेंगे या आपका लॉजिक प्रिवेल करेगा, यू नो। तो अपनी वीकनेस को इस तरह की दो जो कि आपके प्रोफेशन को स्ट्रेंथन करे बजाय वीकन, ठीक है। अदरवाइज यू आर अ स्ट्रांग कैंडिडेट, आई हैव नो डाउट कि इंशाल्लाह यू विल डू वेरी वेल।
थैंक यू मैम।
आई अप्रिशिएट आपके आंसर्स, बहुत मजे के थे और बहुत अच्छे आपने आंसर किए। आपने ये घर है कि तेरी की किसी से पढ़ा है?
नहीं सर, घर पे पढ़ा हूँ सर।
आपकी चूंकि साइंस का बैकग्राउंड है और आपने आईआर से और इन चीज़ों से रिलेटेड बहुत अच्छे आंसर किए, इसी स्पिरिट को कंटिन्यू रखिएगा।
थैंक यू।
ठीक है, आई होप कि आप बहुत अच्छा इंटरव्यू में स्कोर करेंगे।